The story opens inside a subway. A man is sitting on his seat enjoying music playing through his headphones. His eyes land on a man profusely sweating while looking out from one of the windows. The scene changes to a night sky. The man from the window is hurriedly running through dark alleys. He comes to a halt when ninjas blocks his way. They surround him even from the top of the buildings. He questions how they found him. One of them throws a smoke bomb at him. He starts dodging their attacks. They are coming at him from all directions. He effortlessly kills a few of them. The remaining start shooting at him, and he finally gets hit by a blade right on the side of the neck and starts bleeding. One of them catches him with a collared rope, lifting him high and throws him to the ground like a ragdoll. The ninja kills the injured man by chopping his head off. One of them scans him with a device, but his data shows only his picture and gender. The rest of the details are unknown. They walk away after terminating him. It's the next day, and the protagonist, Hygen, is standing in his cornfield. He loads his truck with them and goes on his way. Later in the evening, he is fixing his motorcycle in the shed when someone approaches him from behind. He frightens the intruders, who turns out to be his son, Ren. Hygen inquires Ren about the mask he is wearing. The son calls it an oni. Mary, his mother, also joins them, telling her husband that his friends gave it to him as present while he went on the trip to visit them. Later at night, on a calendar, a birthday is circled on the 25th. On the news, the man's murder is being reported. According to the reporter, it happened in an area called El Balkin on the 10th. Brutal details of his killing are relayed. The kid interrupts, saying maybe the Oni did it. Hygen takes him to bed. After putting his son to bed, Hygen comes to ask Mary, who appears to be tense, about what's bothering her. She tells him that it's the murder news from a few minutes ago, and the fact that the investigators don't even know anything regarding that man's personal life. Her husband assures her that no one will find them in this place. She questions if someone named the Reaper might find them. Hygen reassures her that it won't happen, and the killing isn't related to the Reaper. In the morning, they buy groceries. Then in the evening, the father-son duo goes for a bike ride, and in the evening the couple works in the cornfield. Later, he breaks a plate and his mother of course scolds him. He sits upset in the bathtub, but Hygen joins him and cheers him up by pretending to swim with his goggles on. Afterwards, Hygen monitors the area through the security cameras he has installed around his property. Then the family is watching the news. Yet again, another murder has taken place. This time it's in St. Mark. The person has been murdered in the same manner as the Hyde Park murder and several other places over the past month. At night, they celebrate their son's birthday by grilling a steak that Hygen almost burns. He even plays the guitar, and Ren even gets to cut a Trija cake. Hygen continues to play the guitar. He gives his son a Trija mask as well. Their little celebration ends on a happy note. The family is in their beds asleep when Hygen unexpectedly wakes up, telling his wife not to worry. He slowly makes his way downstairs and sees one of the living room curtains moving slightly with the wind. This probably means that the window has been opened. Suddenly, those masked ninjas appear in front of the window and starts shooting from outside. He gets wounded but keeps on dodging and fighting them with his bare hands. He hears his son scream for him, and Hygen immediately starts running upstairs. One of the ninjas pierce sharp blade-like objects through his neck. He still somehow makes his way to the room, only to see the horrific scene of his dead family on the floor. The same unmasked ninja, who had killed the man from the subway, stands next to his murdered family, and malevolently says that Mary fought well. He then goes ahead and pierces a sword through the side of her neck. The father is stabbed in the back with one as well. The unmasked man feels for his pulse and nods to one of the members. The band of murderers makes a run for it as soon as they hear the police sirens blaring through the heavy night. Hygen's body is placed on a slab covered with white cloth in the morgue. However, he wakes up and starts throwing up on the ground as he gets flashback of the gruesome scene of his dead family. He wakes up in a hospital bed with an oxygen mask attached to his face. Upon opening his eyes, one of the nurses rushes for a doctor. They inquire about his state, desperately calling him Mr. Logan, but he loses consciousness. After a few fade-outs, he is finally awake again. The doctor tries to tell him to remain calm, and if he is aware of what has happened. Hygen asks about his family, but the doctor confirms that they have indeed died on the spot. 2 investigators have been assigned to his case. It has been 24 hours since he was pronounced dead. They are quite surprised that he is even alive. The investigators happen to be Mike Morris and Emma Samanda from the FBI. Mike asks Hygen if he could tell them anything about the intruders and their motive from the previous night. However, after not getting any answers, they see themselves out, and Mike leaves his contact card with Hygen. Morris tells Emma that it might just be a premonition, but Mr. Logan probably knows the person responsible, but they will keep a close eye on him in shifts through the night. Huygen sits in his wheelchair on the hospital rooftop with Emma watching him closely. He is then taken to the mortuary to see his family one last time. He can't bring himself to do it and stops the wheelchair. The scene switches to the rooftop again. The ninjas find him there as well. He starts fighting and uses a hand shield, killing some of them. The FBI agent, Emma, tries to get a better look at what's going on, but he knocks her out. Huygen starts fighting them again and pushes a few down an elevator. The ninjas in the elevator are killed, but as soon as the door opens, others are waiting outside the door to kill him. He kills them as well. That unmasked ninja appears from behind. The image of his murdered family flashes in front of Huygen's eyes, and he starts fighting the ninja with swiftness. The ninja tries to grab him with that claw collar thing, but Huygen cuts it with ease. He uses an ability that produces smoke, and it confuses the unmasked ninja. Huygen takes this opportunity by stabbing the sword in him numerous times. Huygen removes the mask he had worn the whole time to keep his identity hidden, and proceeds to give the unmasked ninja one last blow. Afterwards, he visits his deceased family. Logan then returns to his once warm and loving home. He drills through a wall and takes out a box from inside. The box has a symbol on top of it. Inside, it is a picture of their family with their actual faces, a mask and some other items. He sets his house aflame and wears the mask from the box. The next episode begins with a little insight into the ninja clan. The leader tells the ninjas that their art must never be revealed to the outside world. Their life mission is to keep peace in Japan. However, due to changing circumstances and the attacks on the country, the leader considers it is time to go to foreign lands and teach their way of life. Still, it should not be forgotten that all of this is for the sake of Japan. Anyone amongst them that fails to do so shall be banished or better yet terminated. Back to present day. Huygen has tied the unmasked man upside down from an empty barn ceiling. Huygen has hardly any energy left in him and falls down. Someone from behind him calls his name. It turns out to be an elderly man. The old man feeds the cats and tends to Huygen. The name Logan was used to cover his true identity. The man questions him about not hiding behind that Logan mask. Huygen explains that somehow the organization was able to find them and crack down their masking system, so it is pointless to keep wearing that mask anymore. Huygen's left arm is bruised black from using the secret art of Stark-awareness the previous night on the rooftop. As the old man turns him on his back, he is taken by surprise from the wound there. Huygen should have died with the severity of it. They both wonder the same. The old man says it could either be luck or someone was watching out for him. He starts nursing Huygen's wounds. The man proceeds to ask if he has made any further plans, and Huygen replies that he will hunt down the organization after regaining some strength. It's already night by the time Huygen wakes up from his rest. He starts torturing the unmasked man and keeps up the torture till the sun comes out. The bloody man asks what Huygen is trying to prove from doing this. However, Huygen continues tormenting him day in and day out. Finally, he throws gasoline over the ninja and tells him about the gruesome and painful death ahead of him. The man starts screaming in pain as his body starts burning. It's the next day, and the FBI agent Mike is told that he has been removed from the investigation. He tries to reason with his boss about all the bloodshed on the rooftop, but the lack of evidence of any bodies makes it all pointless. He tells the boss about Emma witnessing assassins attacking Huygen, but his boss dismisses him, saying Emma has reported otherwise. Mike goes to find Emma working at her desk. She tells him that it is obvious the higher-ups are covering it all up, so she had to obediently go along with it. She shows Mike the details on the Logan family. Mary and Ren's cover-up names Sarah Logan and Kyle Logan show up in the database. However, they are unaware of this fact. But Emma adds that something is fishy here, because nothing related to them comes up. Their names must be false just like the rest of the murdered victims. The scene shifts to an abandoned factory-like place. Huygen sits with the tiny mask simulator in hand. Moments later, he sets out on his motorbike and keeps searching different places, probably trying to find those ninjas. At a bar, two sheriffs arrive and start demanding money from the bartender. He hands them a few dollars, but they aren't enough. They hit the man and then turn to Huygen. One of them starts annoying him and demands his license. Huygen beats them both, gives the bartender his money back and leaves the bar. The next day the detective duo is in the office. Emma plays on a VR. They talk about its advancements, thanks to a company called Orza. The topic switches to investigating Logan. Coincidentally, Huygen rings up Mike's phone and introduces himself as Joe Logan. Mike points to the phone, signaling Emma to start locating Logan on the computer. The detective tells him to drop the act because the system doesn't have a Joe Logan. Huygen breaks the phone, probably being careful of not getting traced in calls from another one. He gives Mike the option to decide a place where they can meet up. The latter decides on a Chinese restaurant in St. Mark named Long Hao Bar. The call ends, but Emma is unable to trace him. Huygen makes his way to the Chinese restaurant while Orz's advertisement plays on a billboard. He goes up a building opposite to the restaurant to examine the area, and sees the detective arriving as well. Mike sits inside the place, which looks quite shabby. He tells the owner to go for a long walk till he is done talking. The owner tells him to let the delivery men know about the orders placed on the table. He leaves but warns the detective that if anything breaks, Mike has by it himself. Huygen enters, and Mike wants to see his face to confirm his identity, but Huygen shows him the contact info card he had left during the hospital visit. Mike says that he is rather surprised Huygen even showed up, while the latter only wants to know if there is any information on who the killer might be. Mike takes out a gun and says he isn't the sort to bargain with a suspect. They keep getting interrupted by delivery men. Morris tells Huygen that he is going to be arrested now. The agent comes closer but is interrupted yet again. He thinks it's another delivery man, but no orders are left on the table. The unknown man is about to attack, but Huygen is quick to dodge the attack. However, Huygen's mask falls off and the detective ends up seeing his actual face. They start fighting while Mike tries to take a hold of the situation. He shoots at the mystery man but misses. He is fast and is about to attack Mike yet again, but Huygen saves him. Still, Mike ends up getting slightly injured. Huygen uses a hand seal with which two shadow clones emerge from him back. The intruder clones himself as well, but Huygen is quick to terminate him and his clone. Mike insists on knowing who he truly is. Huygen calls himself Peking Duck. Mike keeps on pressing about Logan from hospital. Huygen finally tells him that he himself is a ninja. He takes out the device from earlier and shows his face transforming into Logan. He removes it and says that this dead man and the ones who attacked him at the hospital are also ninjas. Their conversation is interrupted by a group of ninjas shooting at them from outside the restaurant window. One of them launches a missile at them. After this, the group hurriedly escape from the scene in a black van. Huygen leaves as well, and Mike is left alone in the ruins of the restaurant. He picks up the dead man's blades and sees no scratch marks on them. Mike wonders the kind of powerful technology these ninjas must possess. Conveniently, Orz's advertisement starts playing on a billboard, probably alluding that they are somehow responsible for it. Master Yamaji sips from a cup. He sits inside a giant temple-like room with massive statues at the back. His informant named Zai tells him that a man they intended to terminate is still alive. Yamaji calls out Huygen's name and the scene ends.